hums and buzzes, voices cut the silence. Truth ain't taking pauses. We the people Wednesday, speak loud, speak clear. Screech owls calling, Red's got your ear.
We the People Wednesday will begin in just a few short minutes, folks. If you want to be a part of the conversation, you still have time to jump over to the VIP Backstage Lounge at ripinrabbithole.com. If you are listening on demand, go ahead and fast forward to about the 3-minute mark and you will jump into tonight's live show. Stay tuned, folks. Show starts soon.
Late night highway, headlights chasing dreams. The rip-on rabbit hole ain't as crazy as it seems. Ain't no polished lines, just hearts and fire. We the people Wednesday, speak loud, speak clear. Screech owls calling, Red's got your...
Rippin' Rabbit Hole is a community-driven radio. At times the community comments may reveal prejudices and other beliefs that we or our sponsors do not condone. Views or opinions expressed by the community, callers, or guests are those of the individual speaking and do not represent the views or opinions of this site. Rippin' Common Sense content is intended for mature audiences only. Enjoy.
Late night highway, headlights chasing dreams. The rip-on...
Rippin' Common Sense Radio, where your voice will be heard around the world as we discuss hot topics, recent news, and new developments. If you've dialed up We the People Wednesday, congratulations. You can now declare yourself one of the We the People people. If you are listening on Rumble or over on YouTube, please give We the People a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button so that you will receive notifications each and every time we go live. If you want to join the We the People conversation, hop on over to ripinrabbithole.com. Click on the 24/7 tab in the taskbar. Scroll down until you see the backstage. Click on the big red Enter Now button. Allow the permissives and join the fun. The Backstage Lounge is free and always will be. It's a great place to meet new friends and talk about anything that you want to. And we can speak from experience when we say that you will often find We the People deep into the early AM hours. That is ripinrabbithole.com. RIPONRABBITHOLE.com. We've got just a very few simple rules because this is a show for We the People. And I believe, Red, you put the links to the Backstage Lounge.
Yes, I did.
In both Rumble and YouTube.
Correct.
So we are covered. We've got a very light crowd in the VIP Backstage Lounge. Red, I don't know if and Studio B and AJ the Rippin' Rabbit.
You and
I. And RJ and you and I.
Yep.
And we're going to try and keep an eye on YouTube and Rumble to see if there's anything going on in the chat there. We'll do our best to keep up with you. Before we jump into tonight's show, and Rabbit Hole, she's back here often. Christine is hospitalized and needs your prayers.
Definitely needs prayers, yes.
So she encountered some issues last night, notified us that she was being hospitalized, and so we're just going to ask that you hold Christine, a friend of the network, in your prayers this evening.
Absolutely. Thank you if you are going to send out prayers for her because they are greatly appreciated and much needed.
So, Red, we had a couple of really good shows last week, in my opinion. We talked
we had great shows, I thought.
On Wednesday night, we talked about what we're going to pick up again and talk a little bit more about tonight. And then Thursday night, we had Jim Spodek on from Hot Government, and he revealed some disturbing news out of Racine County and beyond. And
it's going to be interesting to find out how far beyond, but yeah, definitely beyond.
And that's an ongoing story as Hot. They don't stop digging until they have dug all the way to the bottom and
verified thoroughly.
Jim and Hot are continuing to work on what we talked about last week, and we're going to have Jim on again very soon, hopefully, to fill us in on what's going on,
Definitely.
what more they found.
And we have a couple more people now. That would be hi, Michelle, and hi, Nan. Thanks for joining us as well.
Hi, Michelle, and hi, Nan. And Red, so this is, one of the things that we're going to talk about a little bit later maybe is, and there's an ongoing question tonight, so I want you to think about this. And I kind of know the answer that we're going to get from the people backstage, but we want to know, what makes you choose to vote for the person that you...
Left, right, center, just what
No, I
makes
want to
you
hear it
think.
all. What makes you choose to vote for someone? And
Absolutely.
I'm interested. The reason I'm interested, Red, is because we weren't even on the air.
Exactly.
But we've got a light crowd back here, and we know that our numbers, that a lot of people listen to our shows on demand.
Mm-hmm.
But I find something really disturbing, because we talk about things that are important, right?
That we thought were important.
Should be important. We talk about election integrity. We talk about pedophiles in law enforcement. We talk about
people running for office that are covering for people that are pedophiles.
The mandate.
Convicted
I mean, we talk about very
pedophiles.
Serious things that should really intrigue people and make them stop and think, right?
Yep, that's what I thought.
I'm going to put a couple graphics up, folks, because we just looked at this before we went on air, and I'm going to put them up.
Literally 10 minutes before.
And I'm going to put up some pictures that are very disheartening to me, because these are the people, actually, that I would love to see answer the question that is our question of the night. I'm gonna put up, what you're gonna see are some screenshots from TikTok videos that are taking place as we speak.
Yep.
As this show goes
about
on,
10 minutes before the show, I took pictures or screenshots.
As we're about to talk about corruption in Wisconsin's election system, and deeper than we maybe ever thought.
And I can explain the pictures.
So Red, I'm going to flip it over, and you explain what we've got in these screenshots and what you've circled.
Okay, so on the first picture with the lady that is a type of curling iron. Once in a while, you'll see what appears to be little smiley faces. Once in a while, you'll see what appears to be little smiley faces drop down, out of the sky. And there are, in the first screenshot, there is 7.3K.
No, that's the middle one, Red. That's the one in the middle. 7.3 thousand.
I'm sorry, the middle one is 7.3K watching. In less than 5 minutes, it jumped from the 7.3 to 9.7. Yep, 9.5.
Okay, so probably because I was so pissed off when you were telling me that there were nearly 10,000 people
listening to it rain.
Listening to it rain, and I know how peaceful that can be and how relaxing it can be.
But at the same time, there's a bunch of people talking in the chat. I mean, it's going like crazy. You have to really read fast to keep up with the chat.
And there are people in these videos sending little tokens.
Yep.
That are worth maybe a penny, maybe a dime. And
it depends on which one, yeah.
This lady's going to curl her hair tonight, and she's going to make a few bucks.
Not only off of selling the curling irons, because she gets a commission off of that, but if you send her tokens, like you just mentioned, she will make an additional X amount. Depends on how long she's on and whatnot.
And folks, there are literally thousands of these videos.
Yep.
Where there are people, and granted, we don't know the age group of the people that are watching these videos. Maybe they're not a voting age, Red. But you know what? I dare to bet that some of them are.
Yeah.
Some of that 10,000 people watching the damn raindrops on the truck are voting age, and they could be listening to a podcast like ours,
right?
A podcast that maybe impacts things right there in their neighborhood.
Exactly.
Because there are a lot of podcasters out there that talk about serious stuff.
Exactly.
And this is what we're up against, folks.
And I seen earlier today somebody cooking, and it looks like they're cooking like in a restaurant, because it looks like a restaurant kitchen. And he had almost 10,000 people watching him cook and flip hash browns. And I'm like, how in the heck do these people get that many people to watch them? Because mind you, I sell jewelry on the side, and I'm lucky if I get 3 people in at a time. I'll be honest.
Now, you haven't been doing it long, and you haven't
No.
built up an audience yet.
No.
But it's just disheartening to me, Red. It's disheartening to me that there are so many serious things going on in life, and I know we all need an escape from those things.
And that's why I sell the jewelry as an escape.
About 3 times a week, I need to go out in the backyard and run into the tree with my face.
Yep.
Just to get through the frustration that I have about everything.
Well, and I don't know, did you happen to upload some of the videos that you were watching earlier with asking questions about who was our very first president of the United States? Can anybody tell me in the backstage here, right in the chat, who is our very first president of the United States of America? You know, we are at year 250, so I'm sure somebody knows who the first president is.
I'm sure everybody listening to our program knows that, Red.
Yep, and I'll tell you who it was that these people said after, if somebody comments.
Nobody has to comment, Red, because they all know who the first president is.
I would hope so.
But this roundtable discussion that was taking place, they all agreed that it was Abraham Lincoln, and these people were
the guy with the top hat.
These young ladies were all of voting age.
Yep.
Who didn't know where the Panama Canal was in, or what country the Panama Canal was in.
What country is the Great Wall of China?
This is what we're up against.
They said Taiwan.
How do we ever change anything when we have this kind of stupidity flowing so freely through this great country of ours? And I had to bring that up, Red, because there are times when I get frustrated when we do a show and we think this is so important for people to listen. Well, we had Jim Spodek on last night. And
last week.
Last week.
See, you're stuck on last night.
I am just I need to go run in, I need to go run into a tree.
Yeah.
When we had Jim Spodek on last week. And there should have been and granted, folks, I'm not complaining about our live audience because we'll have a few thousand people at the end of the day that will watch these shows on demand or listen to these shows on demand.
Right.
So I'm not complaining, and I applaud the people who show an interest
absolutely
in the stuff, and we're appreciative of the people who tune into our program.
Absolutely.
But it's these harebrains who are watching paint dry, basically. In fact, I think we should do that test. Let's paint a wall and see how many people will watch it on TikTok, watch the damn wall dry.
Yep.
And see if anybody throws us a few cents. Maybe we can make 40 or 50 cents on the deal, Red.
Absolutely.
I just get pissed off because there's so many things, Red, that are just too important. And
the biggest thing that I hear is I don't do politics. I don't do politics.
And when you don't do politics, what happens?
Politics does you every single day.
So
these people on TikTok that are getting these little tokens, where do they think that this money goes? Do you think that you actually get the full amount of those tokens that are sent? No. Do you think maybe you have to pay taxes on them when they transfer that money into your bank account? There's politics doing you, because you just had to pay taxes on what you earned for curling your hair.
All right, Red, we went on our 10-minute rant about the people watching TikTok. Now it's time to move on and let's talk about our show.
Okay.
And I know, Red, we both get frustrated about this, and
I know.
We shouldn't go off on a rant the minute we get on air, but it's difficult not to. It's difficult. So last week, Wednesday, Red.
Yep.
We talked about the fact that, in Wisconsin, and I'm going to do a very quick recap. In Wisconsin, the nomination phase of everybody that wants to be on the ballot has to secure, depending on the office, anywhere from 20 if it's like a county seat, up to 2,000 signatures on their nomination papers.
Right.
And those papers are then submitted to the Wisconsin Election Commission, who is supposed to determine whether or not these signatures are valid, whether the nomination papers are filled out correctly.
Yep.
We have state statutes that define very clearly how these forms have to be filled out.
Yes, they do.
And
but they are not filled out correctly by several people, and they're still allowed to be on the ballot. But those state statutes, if you're not going to follow the state statutes, then what do we have them for, first of all?
right.
And mind you, I'm going to remind people, they prosecuted Harry Waite for allegedly not following state
He
statute.
violated a state statute.
Yeah, well,
Well,
according to the
was
jury.
that was their assertion of this.
yes, yes. But yet, what are they doing when these people are not following the state statute? Well, they're allowing them on the ballot. That's
So-
what they're doing.
So anyway,
So why follow it?
So anyway, there were some things that happened in one of our counties that made us question the entire process. We wanted to verify that things were on the up and up because things didn't look good
Mhm.
by a county chair in Eau Claire County,
Correct.
who had done some things that we didn't agree with and that he shouldn't have done.
Correct.
So Red and I decided that we were going to download all the nomination papers for 4 Secretary of State
And
candidates.
print every single page. And yes, we did. You don't believe me? I can show it to you.
And these are hundreds of pages, folks. And
oh, absolutely.
we went through each of these candidates with a fine-tooth comb.
Yep.
And
Well, one of them I'm still digging through a second time.
okay, a second
So,
time, but we went
Just to
we,
make sure, because
but-
it's something we found on the one.
but we
but
went
go ahead.
through with a fine-tooth comb. 4 candidates, all 4. We didn't leave anybody out.
Nope.
We didn't pick and choose who we were going to do this to.
Nope, it's
We
just
looked at
one
all
race.
4 of them. And I'm going to follow the rules.
And they
did
actually
what they were
crossed
supposed-
off the ones that they didn't feel comfortable with themselves.
They
So-
followed up on their papers
Yep.
and they omitted some of the names that they thought were in question.
Correct.
And they submitted their papers to WEC, and WEC found a few more, but
Yep.
very minimal
Very minimal. Not enough to
And-
knock them off the ballot.
and not even close.
No.
And it wasn't even close.
And when we looked at it, there wasn't any more to cross off. Well, I take that back. There was maybe a handful, but it still would not have knocked either one of them off the
no,
ballot.
they were way beyond the threshold that they need, the minimum
Correct.
of 2,000, way
Correct.
beyond it. And so there was nothing to challenge on their nomination papers, nothing.
Correct. But then we have the other two.
The other 2 candidates. The Republican Party endorsed candidate, Nate Polnow.
Which ultimately, at the end of the day, they say that he is on the ballot by 86 signatures, which, if you looked at his papers, followed the state statute, there is several pages that should be eliminated.
He wouldn't have made it had
Nope.
they followed state law.
He probably, if he was lucky, he probably would have ended up with 1,200, and that's being generous,
Okay, and then there was Cindy Werner, and we
Yes.
found similar things with Cindy Werner, and
if
and
not worse.
I'll put it up there. I'm going to leave it up there for a little bit, Red, because this is just one of several pages that we found from Cindy Werner
And-
that made us question.
And not to mention, you posted this on Facebook, and I don't know how many people have shared your post, first of all. Second of all, the comments on those posts, everybody's posts, every single one of them says the same thing.
So
It's somebody, one person, sitting in a basement, writing all those.
that's
Alphabetical
that's
order.
allegedly, and
Allegedly.
that's what I want to point out. The handwriting is exactly the same from the signature column to the printed column to the address to the
City.
the municipality to the date. It's all the same handwriting.
Right.
And you don't have to be a handwriting analyst to see that. You
No,
don't.
And I seen
The-
that
the-
in a lot of those comments.
The other thing is this person supposedly went out to many different streets. Okay, you can see there are several different streets there, and got 10 people at random,
Mhm.
and somehow it happened to fall that they signed in alphabetical order.
Yep.
Now
And they all were on 5/31/2020. 2026. So the day before signatures were due.
Now, this person who collected these signatures
Okay.
collected 305 other signatures. It was a total
Well,
of
it was
350.
oh,
It was
okay.
315
All
that,
right.
that my complaint was. You said 320.
That's for all the ones that had actual different handwriting. It was a total pages worth of 320.
Yes, the gentleman who
But
circulated these papers.
Yes.
315, 320, whatever.
Whatever.
My complaint was for 320 or
Right.
315.
And if you can see the red line, there's a red line box that WEC put around all these signatures, and in the very center, if you can see it, there's a red ink mark that has a question mark. That means they probably are questioning every single signature. I'm assuming that's why they put that around there. But I don't know if you can see it in this picture, but up in the right-hand corner, there's a little 10. That means they counted all 10 signatures.
And these signatures were accepted by WEC.
Yes.
And I can tell you that the commissioner or the chairman of this committee,
Yep.
Ann Jacobs,
Yep.
said, I don't know, they're kind of sketchy. And she listed a bunch of pages where she thought they were sketchy.
Yep. You can go back to last week's show and you can see the video of her saying it.
Okay, so that brings us to what happened. I challenged the signatures.
Yep.
WEC threw out they accepted some of my signatures that I challenged, and they threw them out.
Yep.
At one point, Nate Polnow had fallen below 2,000 by almost 150 votes.
Yep.
And then they put his supplementals back in, and they only eliminated 9 of those.
They passed by 86.
And he made the grade by, they say they accepted 2,086 signatures.
Right.
Now,
but also, and this is Cindy Werner's page, but if you look at the municipality, it says MKE. According to state statute, you have to write out in full the name. You're not allowed to abbreviate. However, they allowed every single abbreviation.
Because it's too
on
much.
Both papers.
It's just, what's happening is wrong, folks, in the state of Wisconsin. And
now we see that it's messed up from very beginning to the very end.
I challenged these signatures for a reason, because 2 of these candidates did not follow the statutes that are in place.
Right.
And neither did WEC.
No, neither did WEC, and most of them are their statutes.
So this was on June 9th. There was WEC held a meeting for all the people that challenged signatures.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't believe they overturned anybody who had been challenged.
Well, they did
enough to take off a ballot, but there were other reasons.
Yeah, there were other reasons
with
for that.
that candidate. It wasn't just because of his signatures. It was several reasons.
Yeah, there were several reasons.
In any event, they basically allowed everybody who submitted signatures on the ballot, and they granted them ballot access, including the 2 challenges that I put forth.
Yep.
And it was wrong. And we learned something. And at the end of last week's episode.
So Thursday, after the challenges were done, that's when we learned. No, I take that back. We did learn it on Wednesday, didn't we?
Yes, because we talked about it Wednesday
That's
night
right.
at the end of the show.
At the end of the show, we learned, well, not at the end of the show we learned, but before the show, we learned that the person that circulated this particular page on the screen is a convicted felon.
And last week,
released out of prison December of 2025. So therefore, he's still on parole/probation.
And that's how we ended last week's show. And we did not say definitively, yes, he was convicted felon. Yes, he was still on parole. We made allegations that he had been a convicted felon. We did not know his current status.
We semi-confirmed it before the show. But we didn't have that rock solid confirmation.
So, folks, what happened was after the fact, and now we're June 9th, WEC does their thing. They certified all of these candidates. They placed them on the ballot.
Mm-hmm.
It took us a couple days to get firm confirmation.
And mind you, what was it? Badger Project?
The Badger Project.
They also wrote an article, used this exact page in
Yeah.
their article, and contacted Cindy Werner to ask about these questionable signatures.
Well, the questionable circulator. They went after her.
Oh, correct. Yep, you're correct.
And they asked her about
Because
this
what
this
we had
gentleman
said on the show last
who
week.
was alleged to have been a convicted felon who is still on parole.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to read to you what Cindy Werner told the Badger Project when that was released the latter part of last week. And now I'm reading from their
Article.
their article. This is what Cindy Werner replied to them in an email. Quote, because my campaign has consistently emphasized election integrity, transparency, and accountability, I take the questions you have raised very seriously. Upon receiving your email, I immediately began reviewing the matter and gathering the relevant facts, unquote. Then, a few hours later,
Mm-hmm.
she sent another
An email back.
another email, and this was after she said she had spoken with the circulator in question, the gentleman who circulated this nomination paper, along with probably about 31 others.
Right.
And he did it in 2 days. And folks, I'm telling you, this young man, he must be one hell of a talker to be able to get 320 signatures in 2 days' time, because I've been doing this a long time.
Right.
And that's going all out.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't believe, and I'm pretty good at getting signatures.
Yeah, you are.
But I don't believe that I've ever gotten 320 of them in a 2-day window. But that being said, this is what Cindy Werner said after talking to this young man or this person who circulated these nomination papers. Just a minute. We'll pick up our break in a minute. She said, quote, he indicated that he believed my instructions regarding eligibility applied only to the electors signing the nomination papers, and that he misunderstood that those requirements also applied to the circulator. I have asked him to provide his understanding in writing and am continuing to verify the relevant facts.
So, in other words, she admitted that he said
that he misunderstood.
But is a misunderstanding okay with you?
No, it's not, and it shouldn't be okay with WEC.
No, it shouldn't.
It shouldn't be okay with anybody. We have rules and laws in place that clearly define.
That's what they say about Harry, even though he didn't hide anything. Now he's a convicted felon because of it.
And at the bottom of this sheet where the circulator signs, it's up there. You are swearing that you are
under penalty of perjury of law.
A legal elector, which he's not if he's on parole. And I can tell you, folks, since then, I made contact with the Wisconsin Parole Office. I have the name of his parole officer.
Yes, you do.
And it was verified to me that he is still on paper.
Yep. So therefore, all his circulating, or all those pages that he got signatures on should
be invalidated.
Every single one of them. And that, in turn, would knock her off the ballot.
And that would prevent her from being on the ballot. And this isn't about an attack on Cindy Werner. It's not.
No, because
it's not at all.
This, to me, in my personal opinion, this is an attack on Harry Waite, because look what they did to Harry Waite, and then they turn around and allow this.
But to me, this is an attack. I mean, the process is broken.
Absolutely.
And we have to fix it. So this is not about Cindy Werner.
No.
I mean, clearly, a candidate can't know everybody doesn't always know everybody who's circulating nomination papers.
No, but Jay Schrader and Braden Meyer, they got papers circulated by other people, and they verified their stuff before turning them in.
Yeah, it comes down to, Cindy, you heard her in her response. She wants transparency. She wants integrity, in the process.
Mm-hmm.
You know, at this point, I'm asking Cindy to step out.
Absolutely.
I'm asking her to end her campaign,
Absolutely.
to stop taking contributions from
anybody
to fund a campaign. I'm asking her to do that. I did reach out to her via email. Nobody answered the phone number that is on record. I did reach out by email, and I have not heard a response. But what I can tell you that I did, folks, because I don't feel comfortable just letting this sit. It's going to fester in my head, and I'm going to have to run into more trees.
Right.
I filed a complaint with WEC 2
Mhm.
days ago.
Yep.
Once I got verification that this circulator is still on parole,
Yep.
I immediately filed a 505 complaint with WEC. I had it notarized and I submitted it.
Right.
And it's all based on this circulator.
Yep.
And the fact
One
that
circulator.
this circulator turned in 315 or 320 signatures, and they should be invalidated. And Cindy Werner should not be on the ballot for Secretary of State in the state of Wisconsin.
Right.
And that's my complaint. And WEC has dropped the ball. They dropped the ball.
Again.
But I can tell you that I can tell you what's going to happen, folks. Cindy Werner is going to be on the ballot.
Yep.
Because they've already drawn the ballot position.
Yep.
And it's likely, I'm told that there are 6 printers in the country who print the ballots for Wisconsin. You know, early voting's going to start very shortly here. You know, they've got
I'm not even sure when it
4.5 million ballots to print. Probably more than that,
No,
because we've got 8 million on our
they're
on our damn
they're gonna
voter
print
roll.
8 million, I'm sure.
But in any event, she's going to be on the ballot.
So, that makes me wonder. Next time people need to get signatures, after seeing this, what's going to happen next cycle? Are they going to mimic this?
Well, we can't let it happen. We have to pressure WEC.
That's why we're trying to do something about it now to stop it.
And quite honestly, if Cindy really wants to show the integrity that she claims that she wants and that transparency, Cindy should step out.
Absolutely.
And I can tell you, by doing so, the next time Cindy decides to run, if her nomination papers are if she follows the rules and her circulators follow the rules,
I'd gain a lot more respect back for her.
She would gain the respect of the people.
Absolutely.
By stepping
that's just
out,
my opinion.
by saying, you know what, there were some errors in my nomination papers, and I'm going to do the right thing. And I'm hopeful that she will, but I don't know. But in the meantime, she's going to be on the ballot, right?
Just so you know, somebody put in the chat, Wisconsin Statute 8.40 subsection 2 and 8.15 subsection 4 subsection A disqualifies the signature sound. Well, technically there is no video. Wait.
It doesn't.
Oh yeah, your screenshot there.
Okay, well, I can't do anything about that.
Okay.
If anybody on Rumble wants to see it, they can. We've got problems. Let's take our break real quick here, Red. I don't even know what we have to talk about other than me beating my face against the wall over everything that's happening. There's really, it's kind of a lull time right now.
Well, I mean, yesterday, honestly, we didn't get a chance to go down to Madison. We found out about it a little late, but shoot, what's his name now? This goes back to the 2020 election. The gentleman is being prosecuted.
3 of them.
Oh, there's 3 of them? I only seen one name.
3 of them.
Okay. For the alternate electors for the presidential electors. Sorry, I can't remember his name, but they are now prosecuting him.
And he's actually being defended by Joe Buckney,
which is the same attorney as Harry's.
Was Harry's attorney for his trial.
Yes.
And I'm assuming for his appeal process as well.
Yeah.
There you
So
go. Very good
we have
information.
to, I have to do a better job at keeping up on things like this because we need to show up in the courtroom for him as well.
And
Because
we
they also stated that there are several Democrats over the years that have done the exact same thing as what this gentleman did for President Trump, and now he's being prosecuted for it from 2020.
and unfortunately we weren't able to be there, and we'll watch that more closely as he moves through the system. But we'll get down there the next time to lend our support to him.
So
and
and Harry Waite made a very good point the day of his sentencing when it was standing room only. He feels that packing that courtroom the way that we did that day made a difference on how the judge sentenced him.
And this is
So
this is
we
Dane,
need to do the same thing for this gentleman.
This is Dane County, folks. So let's
Dane
make sure,
County.
Yeah. So that's about all we have, Red. We'll keep people posted so that as dates approach, we'll put out a call to action. And I know Harry was at that hearing yesterday.
Yes, he was. I seen his picture. Trying to head back real quick so I can tell you this gentleman's name. Jim Tropis, and I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. But his name is Jim Tropis, and he's being prosecuted by the state for following the election laws.
In any event, that's all we had for our break, I guess. Red.
So thank you, RJ. You will get your chance. 45 days from now, new dates. August. It's Judge Tropis. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it was Judge Tropis that's getting prosecuted. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you
So-
for that, RJ.
So anyway, that'll be on the books in August. Then we'll put something out. We'll remind people, and we will make that next one, Red.
Yes, we will.
Uh,
And any follow one, that one, yes, absolutely.
So, going back, I filed a complaint with WEC over the signature pages collected by a convicted felon who's still on parole, and we'll see what happens. I did get a response from WEC. I got the very generic response that said, I should have put my complaint on here, but I didn't.
Yeah.
But I got the very generic response from WEC saying that they had received my complaint and that they were going to look to see if it met the criteria for being a complaint, and they would get in touch with me. I did receive another email today that said, Mr. Screech, your complaint has been processed and sent to the respondent for a response. I will be in contact upon any final action taken by the commission during a closed session meeting. So we'll see what happens, but I'm not banking on it, the fact that they will remove her from the ballot, because
No.
at this point the ballots are, the printing is probably underway already, and by the time they make a decision, and there will be appeals that will follow if Cindy chooses to.
Mm-hmm.
And
So, like I said before, this to me shows how screwed up our system is from the very beginning to get on the ballot all the way down to the final vote and counting.
we focused on Red. We focused on smurfing. We focused on voter rolls. We
Machines.
focused ballot. The drop boxes.
Yeah.
Mail in. We put so much effort at looking at that. Nobody ever thought that there was corruption in this process, because
You
it's
didn't think it.
it's so straightforward.
Well, come to think of it, though, we should have known something was up when back in 2022 they allowed Tim Michaels on the ballot when he put the wrong address down. I mean, the guy lives at this address allegedly, but yet didn't know his address, and they gave him a pass, and he ended up on the ballot.
Now the unfortunate thing, Red, is this week, and folks, if anybody's got a comment, just raise your hand if you want to jump in on the conversation here.
Absolutely.
But the problem that we have right now is now Cindy will be on the ballot.
Mhm.
Her papers were certified.
Yeah.
They drew her number wherever that is. I'm told that Jay Schrader received the the first slot.
On the ballot.
I haven't seen this. I'm going by
No.
what I saw on social media today. But
Right.
in any event, Cindy's going to be on the ballot, and she shouldn't be.
No, she shouldn't. Well,
And
technically, neither should Paul now. But
look what happened in 22 in the governor's race in Wisconsin.
mhm,
We before the primary, we had a handful of candidates vying for that position.
mhm.
Nicholson dropped out at some point in early July, dropped out of that August 9th primary, but because he was already on the ballot, and I do see that Kathy has her hand raised, and I'll get to you in just a second, Kathy. When he remained on the ballot, even though he had declared that he was ending his campaign for the governor's desk.
Yep.
And
that still took
I
quite a
didn't-
few votes
I
away.
didn't
I don't
look at
remember
the
how
total,
many.
but it impacted on several different levels. Now he was out of the race. He declared, I'm not a candidate any longer.
Yep.
But still hundreds of thousands of people potentially voted for Nicholson, and I don't know the vote total. I don't recall what it was. But he took votes away from other candidates.
Yep.
After suspending his campaign. And the same thing, although if she continues with her campaign, she's
Either way, her name's still gonna be on the ballot.
I can tell you, if she were to win, I'm gonna raise all kinds of hell, Red.
Oh yeah.
It's not gonna be pretty. Go ahead, Kathy.
Yeah. So I came in a little bit late, sorry, but I got the gist of it, and then the sample of the page of signatures. Holy shit. I mean,
Yep.
they were all, they didn't, they were supposed to sign and then they're supposed to print.
And if you weren't in on the early part of the show when I put this graphic up, this circulator went out and found 10 people to sign this paper, and
Yep.
Yeah, that's kind of odd.
it's amazing.
And if you look at the letters, just looking at the letters, looking at the street addresses, the N is all the same. The MKE is all the same. The 53126 is all the same. It's all this, the person, no, this was fraud. And they didn't recognize that at WEC?
Well,
That's
and this is the one
bad.
where this is one of them that when I submitted my challenge to these signatures, Kathy, this was one of them that triggered Ann Jacobs, the chair of that committee, the WEC commissioners, to say,
Mhm.
I don't know. There was a lot of sketchy pages, and then she
started naming the pages.
She started listing the pages, and
She didn't name them all,
Huh?
but
she listed like 13 of them.
I
in
can
total.
send you the
13
video.
times 10 is 130, so that's,
Right. And
what was her signature total that Cindy?
2,200.
it was a little over 2,200, but what I can tell you
Okay.
too, Kathy, is that
The person
so we see the
circulating
fraud.
these.
But if you jumped in late, the person
I heard about the fraud, so how many did he submit?
Okay, so he
320
submitted
total.
320 in total,
That would
Oh,
take
geez.
her below
and he's a felon who's still on
paper.
so he's still on
Oh,
parole.
great.
So all of the
Not a good
signatures.
look for Cindy. Yeah,
Mm-mm.
she really blew it.
No,
Yeah.
and I'm really asking for Cindy to rethink this one and step out of the race. I think it would benefit her down the road if she
Back
ran
up
again.
just a little bit. When you submitted the challenge and she responded, her original response about the similarity of signatures
Mhm.
is she was hypothetically thinking it possibly could be family members filling it out
What?
for the people.
Okay.
I thought you were supposed to fill it out yourself.
Well, you can get assistance for some of the columns, but
Yeah,
not
some of the columns,
not
the first one.
the signature line.
But they all
Yeah.
look the
the
same.
first two columns have to be you.
Well,
doing
then
it.
they don't follow the rules. You're supposed to print your you're supposed to print your name.
Yep.
And
Right.
every A is the same.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it's all alphabetical by the first name. It's like, whoo, what kind of list did she have?
Well, and I
Yeah.
can tell you, I can send you the other pages that look identical to this.
Well,
It's insane.
I mean,
It's alarming,
no-
and it just shows that we've got a problem with even this this portion of getting on a ballot. There's
Well,
issues.
and not to mention the MKE is supposed to be spelled
Yeah.
out Milwaukee. And if you look at the top on Cindy Werner, her address, and then it's supposed to be spelled out Milwaukee, not MKE.
Yeah.
And according to the statutes, that's an invalid page.
Yeah.
And I'm going to point out, so, and I know that a lot of people said, Screech, you're being awful ticky-tacky about little things here.
I don't think so.
But you know what? In the Nate Polnow
It's a
sheets,
blatant fraud.
Nate Polnow submitted
Yeah.
a little
Oh,
over
God, I don't even
2,200 initially, I think.
I have to
And
go back and look.
Really?
on every page, he spelled secretary wrong
Oh, yeah, thank you.
on the top portion. He
Yep.
spelled the man who wants to be the Secretary of State, who's responsible for record keeping in Wisconsin, spelled secretary wrong on his nomination papers.
And he said that it was just because of fat fingers. So, do you want somebody in that office that can't proofread? Correct their spelling?
So
I know. I'm so sorry. I just have a hard time with our Wisconsin elections.
And also, thank you, Nan, for pointing this out as well. If you look at the date, it's supposed to be 2026, not just 26.
Yeah, there are several violations on this page.
On both pages.
This could be
both candidates' pages.
Yeah, because it says,
This would be the page that I would use if I were training my team to collect signatures, because I would say nearly everything is wrong.
Yep. Everything.
It's very troubling, and it's
so sad. I know, and it's
so
disheartening.
How do we fix this?
Well, I said in the beginning, Kathy, I said, you know, this at this point it should be a 2-person race. It should be Jay Schrader and it should be Braden Meyer, because both of them
follow the rules.
And we scrutinized all of them. We went through every nomination paper.
And trust me, I printed off every single candidate's every single page.
And we went through all of them, and Jay and Braden followed the rules. They did it right, and they both met all the criteria for being on the ballot. The other two,
I'm going to go off of this one.
I'm sorry?
She said she was going to go off something.
So
no, I switched from phone to laptop. So
okay.
So I don't know if anybody's got any magical suggestions on how we fix this, because it needs to be fixed.
And remind you that Harry Waite was prosecuted because of the state statutes. But they've also violated his constitutional amendments.
Yeah, I mean
several.
That one's not over yet.
No, that's not over yet.
Still think
there's still, you're going to do an appeal.
Harry will be cleared of those charges. I'm confident of that.
Yes.
It's going to take some time, and we're going to be spending some more time in courtrooms, but Harry will be completely exonerated, in my opinion. But you know, WEC and the DOJ, they can't pick and choose. They can't pick and choose what state statutes they're going to follow and which ones they're going to pursue charges for. We can't allow them to do it. We can't give them. They've already got too much power. And there's at least 2 horses in this race who want to do away with WEC, and will fight to get rid of WEC. And I know for sure one of them that does not want to get rid of WEC, and he's the alleged front runner, the chosen one. The chosen one. I don't know if he's the front runner, right? He's the chosen one.
Now or whatever his name is.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
he told me when I was signing up for Jay. I signed up for Jay.
That's fine. You have
and then I was in the Brown County office, and he approached me, and I thought, oh God, who is this guy? He's really creepy. Anyway, and I just let him give his spiel, and I go, well, don't you want to get rid of WEC?
He doesn't want to hand count.
No, I'm going to be the Secretary of State with how it is right now. It's like, but that's the whole problem. WEC is not, we don't elect anybody on the WEC committee. We elect you, and that should be your duties as a Secretary of State.
You know,
Why aren't you
Absolutely.
pushing for this? So
You-
I just kept going,
and
and he
I
just,
I'm going to
yeah.
say I'm not sure when they took that out of the hands of the Secretary of State, but I know for many years,
It
like,
was a while. Before, it was right around 2016
well, that's
that
when WEC
governor, but that's when WEC was formed. But before that, they had the other thing that was
right.
formed.
We had Gab before that,
Yeah, and I had that in my mind. I think it was early 2000s.
and I think
Okay.
So
I think there may have
yeah,
been one before the Government Accountability Board,
yeah,
but prior to
the
that,
GAB,
but
yeah, and then
prior to that,
yeah,
it had been in the hands of the Secretary of State, and
yes.
As it
we
And
should
so
be.
Lafayette, he got to be, get all this money. Remember, Jay Schroeder made that whole video going through the whole secretary. Where's the Secretary of State's office? Okay, let's go find it. He did a whole video. Oh, look, there's one person working here. What does he do? And he made a video
Yep.
of the whole place. This was a few years back when he was running probably the first time for it.
Yeah,
So
and it's
it
worse now.
they have to constantly say, we have to be able to, I know our elections all are rigged, but we have to pull these important duties underneath the Secretary of State, underneath the Secretary of Treasury. So because they're accountable to the people because we vote them in. Now, we are going to get things righted. I do believe that our vote does count and all of that. It's coming. You work with what you have, right? And
Right.
then you just keep pushing it out there. What's missing? What is wrong with this picture? So those candidates that we have that are strong, they should be talking to each other and having debates and getting this out. So Cindy Werner, if you're listening or somebody's listening to you, you know, get out of the race. And maybe that's a push we can do on Facebook or something. Most of us have an account.
and I think we do. I think, and it would be the right thing for Cindy to do, given what has been
Yeah.
disclosed. And like
And she allowed this, she did not take personal responsibility for all these pages. She allowed this to happen. And that in turn is dishonesty. And
I
we don't
agree.
need any more of that.
I agree.
And she was not being honest because they sign off on this, and this is, submitted under penalty of perjury. I mean, anybody that looks, I just looked at it once and I go, that's kind of funny. All the A's, they didn't print their names. They're all written with the same N for North 27th Street or North, whatever, 28th Street. Strange. Very strange.
So I see in the comment, I already asked Cindy to step down. I wonder if you got a response from that.
and I don't think this would hurt Cindy long term. In fact, I think if she stepped down because of this, I think she would earn the respect of a lot of people.
Right.
If she said
I would earn, or she would earn my respect
if
back.
she said, this was brought to my attention, I missed it, and
there was no response.
yeah, I mean, I just hope she does. I hope that she does the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, it's going to be too late because her name's going to appear on the ballot.
Right.
But if she were to win, there's going to be some. I'm going to snap my feet and run into trees really hard because she shouldn't be on the ballot.
Absolutely.
I
And
missed the treat story. What happened?
the
What's
what?
that? Oh, I
the
did.
missed
tree.
Well, so
Tree story.
very quickly, Kathy, at the beginning of the show, Red and I went on a rant because we happened to look on TikTok right before we went on air, and there's a TikTok video, two of them.
One was of somebody demonstrating a new curling iron and how to curl your hair so easy.
And 173 people watching it. And then there was another one where it was rain. It was like a camera set up in a vehicle and rain happening on the outside, and nearly 10,000 people are. It went up by 2,000 in like a 10-minute window.
Yep.
from 7,000 to 9,000 people watching it rain.
And people chatting.
I said to Red, this is what frustrates me and makes me want to beat my head against a tree because, maybe we don't present things perfectly,
No.
but there's podcasts like this all over, where real important things are being talked about.
Like, who's the first
And
president of the United States of America?
well, that
And
was a different story where they didn't know.
Oh, I know. That's what I'm saying. Instead, they're watching these types of videos, I'm sure. They thought that Abraham Lincoln was the first president of the United States in these other videos.
It's just
Wow.
very disheartening when there are important issues that need to be talked about. People need to learn about candidates, and there are so many podcasters and new programs that can be watched, and we have 10,000 people watching it rain.
Right.
But I will tell you, Red and I are going to paint a wall, and we're going to put it out on TikTok. We're going to watch paint dry,
And we'll see how many views we get.
and we'll see how many views we get.
We do need to paint our walls.
Yeah,
So-
there we go. You gonna paint it red? Okay.
No, not red.
So Kathy, because I know you're willing to talk all the time when you're in the backstage.
Oh,
I-
shut up. Yeah.
There's
No,
a
no.
there's
Don't
a
shut up.
oh, you can't see the question because I moved the picture in front of it. I have a picture scrolling. I kind of know what the answer is going to be here on this one, but
Uh-oh.
Kathy, when you look at a slate of candidates, what
Yeah.
what makes you decide? I mean, can you just throw out a couple ideas about why you vote for the person you choose to support? So whether that's Jay Schrader, Screech Scott, what do you look for in a candidate that makes you support them?
Well, what I'm looking at right now, and Wisconsin, I'm sorry to say our whole slate in Wisconsin is okay. I'm not I think you go forward with what you have right now, because I suspect, I spitball about that elections are going to become safe for the midterms. So, and that means us and here in Wisconsin. So what I look for is people that are not naive. I look for people because politics is dirty, filthy, and you have to be savvy about everything in order to get anything done.
Mm-hmm.
So I look for people that have been in it for a bit, but have come across as having great intentions, but also as knowledgeable about all the pitfalls and all the people that are there to make sure they don't succeed. Now, there was a subject that came up. Laugh at me. I don't know how I get into these things, but I was asked if I was following Steve Wickland and versus Rick Stacy, that they're in some type of race to replace Voss. Now, I've never heard any of those names before, and I was asked this, and I go, And I just said, are they fresh faces? Because that's what we really need. We need people that are patriots and, not scum of the earth. I mean,
Right. I agree.
We have a lot of that it's so, the corruption has been so embedded and what's the right word? It's profitized. These people are making so much money, and that's why they want to get in. And that's another thing for Cindy too.
Mhm.
They just raise the Secretary of State's annual salary. You don't have to do anything, but you're making 150-ish, per year. It's like, wow, what a great job,
I was going to say,
just
damn, I should
anybody.
if I had known that
Yeah.
they made that kind of money, maybe I would have thrown my
I
hat in
know.
the ring.
What
Right.
the hell, and
Well,
you
not to
get
mention,
healthcare,
they may be getting some kickbacks from
Yes,
these.
and because that's what we're seeing across the nation.
Yep.
We're seeing the
From like lobbyists
kickback
and stuff.
palooza,
Yep.
everyone is making money off of us.
Yep.
And we are sick and tired of it. And those are the questions I want, because every candidate has flaws. And but it's, if we can get our vote to really count, and I think that's where we're moving to, continue on this path of whatever's available, that's what you have to use. You can't ignore it. It is there until it's removed. The ballots and the early voting and all the crap
Well, Paul
that goes
doesn't.
with it.
He doesn't want to remove the machines. He thinks that hand counting the ballots will take several months. Mind
Who
you,
said
he
that?
said, Paul now.
Oh
Nate
my
Paul
God.
now. Yeah.
Okay.
He
Well,
said
look how he
this the
spells
same.
secretary. So
He said this the
you must,
same day as Peter Berniger putting out. It wasn't Venezuela. Whoever just had their election in another country, and they had it counted that same night, and they said how many ballots. I'm like, come on, Nate.
Yeah. And it's
Get with
like
it.
Florida too. How can Florida be all done in, 3 hours after polls close?
Well,
so we're looking at this, and it's a whole other subject, but we got to go kind of with what is out there, what, the rule makers made, it was only for their benefit and the exposure. I think, with Peter Berninger and the exposure of, really, we have how many legal voters in Wisconsin, but on our voter rolls, now what is it, 7.3?
I've heard up to
million.
8.3 million now.
Yeah, it's up to 8.3, I believe it is.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So
it's like,
I do want to jump in because you referenced the two candidates vying for Robin Boss's old seat, and Harry Waite, who is from that area of the 33rd Assembly District. Harry writes, Steve Wickland is the Union Grove president and handpicked by Robin Boss. So there you go.
And they had their meeting on Monday, the county meeting, and there was more candidates than there were members.
Interesting.
That's pretty sad.
Well,
you always just say the word interesting when you really don't want to say a bad word.
That's very true. I'll have to learn that.
Well, interesting. Yeah.
It's
and then,
very interesting.
Behind your expression, you just want to say Felix Unger. Just use the initials. So
yes.
Anyway,
there you go.
And so we are in interesting times, and the more exposure of these people, and Cindy Werner. I mean, go out on Facebook and ask her, why did you allow a person that was, to submit? Didn't you view all these pages? Didn't you? Because they all look the same, and then, shame her into something, because it is very dishonest. And you might want to have good words about people, but dishonesty, if it's coming through, is usually always there.
And she's got an opportunity to fix it and make herself look better.
Well,
than if it goes down like this.
If I don't want to pick on just Cindy, but this particular portion of it, yes, she needs to get with it. But you have to also remember, Nate Paul now made it on the ballot by 86 signatures, and you've seen how many things were wrong. Not the signatures per se themselves, but the MKE, and there's even an EC, and there's also a GB. They're supposed to be spelled out. That's what state statute says. And if your husband and wife team signing at the same time, your husband writes out the full thing, address, whatever, you're not supposed to use quote marks saying, I live at the same address. It's supposed to be filled in. They allowed it. Those were on Nate's pages, along with some other stuff.
Yeah, Nate couldn't decide if he lived in a town or a village, because on some of his pages it was the town of Elba, on some of them it was the village of Elba.
Some of them had both.
Yes, and some of them had both. He covered it.
And you're not supposed to do that, so those should be thrown off too.
It may mean a little extra work for the people at WEC, but until we take this out of the hands of WEC, they need to do their job as well. Let's not cut them any slack, because they were sleeping at the wheel, and they just allowed this crap to happen. And we've got to come down on them too, because you know what? Ann Jacobs can sit in those meetings all she wants and say, I don't know, it looks sketchy. She can say it all she wants, but unless you're going to do anything about it,
Yep.
then you're just...
Because then she turned around and voted. Go ahead. Yeah, sure. Why not?
Why not?
I do want to put a little plug in for Mr. Harry Waite. Go to racinecountycorruption.blogspot.com. And he's written some very, very good articles on there. And if you need that, again, well, I'll say it again. It's Racine, RACINE, County corruption.blogspot.com. And I will put that in the chat on Rumble and on YouTube as well.
Yeah, go check that out because I'm sure it will be informative reading.
Very.
But what I can tell you, Red, is if you were watching it rain or you were watching someone curl her hair and you're watching this on demand, listen to what Kathy just said, because Kathy gave some the kind of reasons I thought that people who listen to our show would give for why they are voting for someone.
Absolutely.
And because I looked it up earlier, Red, and you know, the uninformed voter has some really peculiar ways that they choose their candidates, and one of the things they do is they rely heavily on their coworkers to tell them. And I've had several jobs in my lifetime, Red, and not always the most intelligent people I've worked with.
Right.
And if I sat back and let Billy Bob tell me how to vote, this is part of the reason we're in the mess we're in, because people don't think for themselves.
Nope.
And
a lot of people get it from their county parties or their state party or the mainstream media news that does not tell the truth to begin with. So start thinking for yourself. You know what happens is when you start thinking from yourself, you start getting a little bit smarter and your brain works a little bit more, and it's going to last longer.
Oh, I don't know, Red. I guess we're up against the hour.
Definitely.
So this will, unless I hear from WEC, this will be the last night we talk. I mean, we're going to continue talking about this because we can't let it stop. We have to have a plan on how we fix it. I filed a complaint. I'll wait to hear back. I'm sure I'm going to get Cindy's response to my complaint.
Probably the same as what it was in the
coming days
in the article.
And we'll see what she says. Hopefully, Cindy will do the right thing and step out and let the other three vie for the job. And hopefully,
well, it's too late to do anything with Paul now.
I mean, it's over and done with. They're all on the ballot.
Right.
And Cindy will be, even if she steps out. Her name is still going to be on the ballot. And it's going to be our job to inform people.
I was just going to say, therefore we have to educate people off podcasts, off of the mainstream media, out of the county parties, because I know for a fact that some of these county parties will not push or even talk about any of the other candidates except for the one that's endorsed.
So, who knows? Kathy told me they make like $150,000 a year. Maybe I'll run as a write-in, the same platform that Nate Pohl now has, and says I don't want any changes to the office because I don't want any additional work.
Right.
I just want the $150,000.
Yeah, you just want to go in and kick your feet up, and heck, you don't even know how to spell. You have to know how to spell.
Damn, Red. Think about it, Red.
Right.
I can't challenge Jay and Braden. They did such a good job.
No, they did. They did an amazing job.
I wouldn't do that to them, but
No.
who knows? Maybe there's another job out there that hell, if some of these people are qualified, I've got to be qualified.
Well, you know, you did put out a post several months ago that you were running for lieutenant governor.
All right, our music's going to get loud. We have to shut up, Red.
Anyway, tomorrow night, Thursday, Tin Hat Thursday. I'm not even sure what the topic is yet, but 8 p.m. tomorrow night. Friday is Rippin' Rabbit Hole Live. Sorry, Rippin' Rabbit Hole Live, 8 p.m. with AJ the Rippin' Rabbit. Sundays, 10:30 in the morning, backstage only, 2 or more gathering, and we're still on John. It's been amazing.
I think John 10 and
John 10.
I think that's where we're at.
It's coming up.
Anyway, join us Sunday mornings. That's it. We're going to stop wasting time because
we have a republic to save.
Have a good night, folks.